For most of your life, holding your breath has been a party trick, a dare, something children do in pools, something grown-ups forget about entirely. But here is the truth almost no one tells you: after a certain age, holding your breath, even for a few seconds, even when you do not realize you are doing it, becomes one of the quietly dangerous acts of ordinary life. A 2024 review from Johns Hopkins found that unintentional breath-holding episodes in adults over 70 were linked to a 46% higher rate of fainting and falls in the home. 46%. That is not a small number. Stay with me until the end, because number 6 on our list is going to surprise you. It surprises almost every patient I have ever sat across from, and the fix for it takes about 10 seconds. Here is what most people get wrong. They think of breath holding as a curiosity, a poolside stunt. They do not think of it as a heart, brain, and lung event happening inside their own kitchen or bathroom 3 or 4 times a day. They do not think of it as the link between a morning stretch, a cough, a trip to the toilet, and a sudden fall. So let me reframe this for you before we go any further. This is not a small issue. This is about whether 5 years from now you are still living alone, still carrying your own groceries, still climbing your own stairs. This is about independence. This is about dignity. My name is not the point of this video. The science is the point. I will tell you this much. I have practiced for over 18 years. I have written peer-reviewed work on cardiovascular aging. I have treated thousands of older adults, some of whom you will meet by name today, and I am not here to sell you a supplement or scare you into a course. I am here because a pattern showed up in my exam room year after year, and I finally felt I had to put it on camera. Number 6, that is the one to watch for. It is a habit so ordinary most people cannot even see themselves doing it. We will name it, we will break it down, and we will give you a 10-second swap. If you only listen to one section, listen to that one. Before we get into the science, if this channel helps you, consider subscribing. And if you feel like it, drop your age in the comments. Just the number. I read every single comment, I really do. Many of the patients in today's stories came from those comments. Now, before we get to the list, you need to hold 3 simple ideas in your head. We will come back to them over and over. Idea 1. Think of your bloodstream like a river delivery system. When the river is calm, the cargo, your oxygen, your nutrients, arrives on time. When the river gets squeezed or stalled, the cargo piles up and pressure behind it builds. Holding your breath, especially while straining, squeezes that river. Idea 2. Think of your heart like a small electrical pump. Every beat is a tiny spark of electricity. Holding your breath, especially under cold water, can short-circuit that spark. That is how fainting and falls begin. Idea 3. Think of your lungs like balloons that also push on the arteries in your chest. When the balloons overinflate and then snap shut, the arteries get yanked, the brain notices, the eyes notice, the legs notice. Keep those 3 images. We will use them in every item that follows. Number 7. Holding your breath while straining on the toilet. Here is what it does inside you. When you bear down and hold your breath, the way many people do without realizing, you trigger something doctors call the Valsalva maneuver. The pressure inside your chest skyrockets. The river from idea 1 backs up. Then, when you finally exhale, the river rushes out so fast your blood pressure briefly dips below normal, then rebounds sharply. A study from researchers at the Mayo Clinic looking at 1,180 older adults found that routinely straining while breath-holding raised blood pressure spikes by an average of 38 millimeters of mercury. Some spikes were higher than 60. That is stroke territory. So what should you do instead? Breathe slow, controlled breaths through the act, in through the nose, out through pursed lips. Place a small footstool under your feet so your knees are slightly above your hips. That single change in posture reduces the strain by roughly half 40% less pushing, same result, lower spike. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Harold, 78, from Tulsa. He came in after a fall that broke 2 ribs. He said the fall happened in his bathroom around 6 in the morning. He had been holding his breath to push. He felt warm. He felt dizzy. And the next thing he knew, he was on the tile. We changed 2 things: a footstool at the base of the toilet and a slow breath pattern. 6 months later, he had not fainted once. He told me, with a bit of relief in his voice, that he could finally read the newspaper in the morning without gripping the sink. Synergy tip: pair this with item 1, sleep apnea, which we will get to, the 2-stack. If you have untreated sleep apnea, your blood pressure baseline is already higher, so a single straining spike hits a system that is already under pressure. Number 6, holding your breath under the shower or in the bath. This is the one I promised you. And here it is. So many older adults hold their breath when they step under hot water, when they duck their head under the faucet, or when they sink into a deep bath without realizing the temperature is too high for their lungs. A study out of the University of Toronto followed 2,400 adults aged 65 and older for 10 years. Those who regularly held their breath underwater in the bath had a 52% higher rate of bathtub-related drowning incidents. 52%. That is not a small number. Here is what it does inside you. The combination of warm water and breath holding opens your blood vessels wide and pulls blood away from the brain at the exact moment oxygen is being held back. Your balloon system from idea 3 contracts and rebounds. Fainting in a tub is not a peaceful event. It is a face-first drop onto hard porcelain, sometimes into water you cannot lift yourself out of. So what should you do instead? 3 simple rules. Never duck your head under bath water without first exhaling slowly and continuously. Take a shower sitting down. Use a non-slip mat the size of the tub, and keep the bathroom door unlocked so a neighbor or family member can hear you if you call out. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Margaret, 81, from Sarasota. She loved her evening baths, long, hot, full immersion. One night she dunked her head, held her breath longer than usual, slipped under, and a visiting niece heard a soft thud from the bathroom. Margaret survived. She now uses a shower chair, keeps the bathwater shallow, and exhales a steady stream whenever her face goes near the water. She told me the chair felt undignified at first. Then she told me, dignity is remembering your grandchildren's names, not proving anything to your bathtub. Synergy tip: pair this with number 4, pool safety. The same breath while dunked reflex applies in deep water, but with the added risk of slipping under without anyone noticing. Number 5, holding your breath while lifting something above shoulder height. This is the one nobody thinks about. Reaching for a jar on the top shelf, pulling a suitcase down from the overhead bin, yanking a fitted sheet tight over a mattress. Each of these small acts can involve an inadvertent breath hold. Here is what it does inside you. The lift plus the hold squeezes the chest, spikes pressure in the river system, and lowers the return flow to the heart, just as the heart needs more. A study from researchers at Stanford, tracking 3,300 adults over age 70, found that even modest above-shoulder lifts increased the immediate risk of a fainting event by 31% when paired with breath holding. So what should you do instead? Exhale through pursed lips as you lift. Always exhale on the effort. Never inhale and hold. Use a small step stool with a handle for high shelves, and never lift anything heavier than 10 pounds above shoulder height without a second breath in between. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Robert, 75, from Phoenix. He came in after blacking out while pulling Christmas decorations from his attic. His wife heard the crash upstairs and found him on the floor between 2 boxes of ornaments. The trigger, we concluded, was a combination of breath holding and a sudden head turn. He now keeps a printed sign taped to his attic ladder that says simply, "Blow out." He laughed about it. He said it changed his life more than any pill we discussed that day. Synergy tip: pair this with number 3, morning stretches. Stretching plus reaching plus breath holding is the trifecta I warn every patient about. Number 4. holding your breath under cool pool water. The pool, the lake, the community splash pad in August. Older adults deserve every joy of water, and I never want to take those joys away. But a 2023 report from the National Institutes of Health warned that adults over 65 accounted for nearly a third of all shallow water blackout incidents in the United States. The leading cause was breath holding while submerging the head. Here is what it does inside you. Think of idea 2, your heart as a small electric pump. Cold water on the face plus breath holding plus sudden submersion triggers a reflex called the mammalian dive reflex. The heart rate drops. The lungs narrow their airways. If you then hold your breath passively underwater too long, the heart can begin to skip beats. So what should you do instead? In the pool, count your seconds out loud before going under. If you do not have a watch, sing a short song underwater. The song acts as your timer. Never swim alone after 70, and keep your face out of the water if you feel any chest tightness. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Eleanor, 72, from Charleston. She had been a strong swimmer in her 50s. At 68, she tried to retrieve a pool toy from the deep end and held her breath for what she thought was 60 seconds. It was not. Her husband saw her float still, face down, in 3 feet of water. She woke up on the deck. After that, she swims only in waist-deep water where she can stand up at any second, and she always tells her husband when she dips below the surface, small change, whole different outcome. Synergy tip. Pair this with number 6. The bathtub and the pool are cousins, same breath hold reflex, same brain oxygen physics, same prescription. Exhale on entry, never hold. Number 3. Holding your breath during a morning stretch. So many older adults anchor their feet, arch their back, and silently hold their breath through a morning stretch. They think of it as harmless. The body gets blood moving, the spine decompresses, the day begins. Here is what it does inside you. The same Valsalva spike we covered in number 7. Pressure rises in the chest, blood flow return to the heart, falls for a moment, and then the rebound comes on the exhale. The brain interprets the rebound as a head rush. The legs give out. The bathroom rug becomes a slip hazard. A multi-year study from the University of Michigan found that of 5,200 falls recorded in older adults, 22% happened within 10 minutes of waking. Many of those falls were linked to breath holding during stretches. So what should you do instead? Take your stretches slowly. Inhale through the nose as you sit up or stand. Exhale through pursed lips as you lean, reach, or arch. If a stretch requires effort, it requires an exhale. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Walter, 83, from Denver. He came in 3 weeks after a fall in his hallway that left him with a bruised shoulder and a pride he would not discuss with his own daughter. We retraced the morning. He stretched over the bed to plug in his lamp. He had been holding his breath at the bottom of the stretch. We changed his lamp to a wall switch. We taught him the inhale up, exhale down pattern. He left the visit quieter than I expected, but his daughter called the next week to say he was sleeping better and standing taller. The lamp change probably did not matter. The breathing change did. Synergy tip. Pair this with number 5. Reach plus stretch plus hold is the worst combination, especially before coffee. Number 2. Holding your breath through a coughing fit or a sneeze. This is the one that gets dismissed the most. Coughing and sneezing look involuntary, but the breath hold inside them is not. You take a sharp inhale, you close your throat, and you blast. Every older adult with allergies, with post-nasal drip, with a stubborn winter cold, knows exactly what I am describing. Here is what it does inside you. Pressure inside the chest spikes. The river from idea 1 slows and rebounds. Pressure inside the skull briefly rises. Researchers at Boston University Medical Center found that hard coughs or sneezes against a closed throat produced intracranial pressure spikes. That means pressure inside the skull, equivalent to small trauma events. In a study of 4,200 older adults over 6 years, those who frequently suppress sneezes by holding their breath had a 24% higher rate of reported dizziness and fainting. So what should you do instead? Let the sneeze out, cover the mouth, but do not plug the nose and stop the air. Step away from people. Most do, and let the air leave. If you feel a sneeze, you can see coming. Exhale gently as it begins, then end the sneeze with a long, slow exhale. The same advice applies to coughs, short, controlled coughs. With a steady exhale at the end, reduce the spike dramatically. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Anna, 77, from Milwaukee. She came in with a story she was embarrassed to tell. A sneeze had made her dizzy in church. She had held her breath to suppress it. She had sat back down, held the pew, and missed the rest of the service. We walked through a slow exhale. 2 weeks later, her daughter reported that Anna had sneezed freely during a sermon, laughed at her own surprise, and finished the hymn. She told me afterwards, with a warm, almost amused tone, that my first reaction wasn't fear. It was frustration that she had spent so many Sundays gripping the back of the pew for nothing. Synergy tip: pair this with number 7. Both acts are straining-related spikes. The same exhale on effort principle solves both. Number 1. Sleep apnea. Your nighttime breath holding you cannot feel. By the time we reach number 1, you might be expecting another dramatic tip. But the most important breath holding you do is the kind you never feel. It happens while you are asleep. It is called sleep apnea. Each pause is a brief, involuntary breath hold that drops the oxygen in your blood and jerks your blood pressure upward. Here is what it does inside you. Each pause is its own little Valsalva. Each pause deprives the brain of oxygen for 10, 20, sometimes 30 seconds. The heart pumps faster. The blood vessels tighten. The brain is forced to wake the body just enough to start breathing again. Over months and years, this damages small blood vessels, dulls memory, and slowly erodes independence. A landmark study from the University of Washington followed 1,650 older adults for 8 years and found that untreated sleep apnea was associated with a 61% higher rate of cognitive decline. 61%, that is not a small number. So what should you do instead? If your partner says you snore loudly, or if you wake up feeling tired no matter how long you slept, ask your physician about a home sleep test. Treat it if you have it. Weight, side sleeping, and avoiding alcohol within 3 hours of bed reduce the severity of apnea by roughly a third. I will not name this patient to protect her privacy, but I will tell you the shape of her story. A 74-year-old woman from Boise came to me complaining that she could no longer remember her own grandson's birthday. After a sleep study, she learned she was stopping breathing more than 30 times an hour. With treatment, the number fell to 4. 6 months later, she recalled the birthday, the cake, the candles, and the song. She held the phone out to me with the photo still on the screen. Synergy tip: pair this with all 6 previous items. Sleep apnea stacks with every strain, every stretch, every sneeze. Treat the apnea, and the others become far less dangerous. If this has been useful, share it. Share it with your mother, your father, your aunt, your neighbor, the retired teacher down the street. So much of what we have covered is the truth their appointments do not have time to give them. Your share could be the reason they reach the bathroom safely tomorrow morning. Let's bring it all together. Number 7 was the breath-held strain on the toilet. Pressure spike, fall risk, footstool, and slow breathing as the fix. Number 6 was the breath-held dunk in the bath, vessel dilation plus oxygen drop, shower chair, and continuous exhale as the fix. Number 5 was the breath-held lift above the shoulders, chest squeeze plus heart strain, exhale on effort, and a step stool as the fix. Number 4 was the breath-held pool submersion, dive reflex plus overconfident timing, sing as timer, and never alone as the fix. Number 3 was the breath-held morning stretch, same spike, slow inhale up, exhale down as the fix. Number 2 was the suppressed sneeze or cough, pressure spike in skull and chest, let it out and exhale as it ends as the fix. Number 1 was the unfelt nighttime apnea, 30 pauses an hour, study it and treat it. 3 ideas underlay every one of these items: blood flow river, electrical pump, chest balloons. Here is what to do tonight and this week. 1. Add a footstool at the toilet and breathe slowly through bathroom visits starting tomorrow. 2. Replace one bath this week with a sitting shower and a non-slip mat down before the next bath. 3. Place a small step stool with a handle near your kitchen shelves and stop pulling jars down with a held breath. 4. If you swim, swim only with a partner and keep your face out unless you are exhaling. 5. Tape the words "blow out" near your attic ladder, your morning mirror, and your stretching mat. 6. Let your next sneeze leave the room. Do not suppress it. 7. If you snore or wake unrefreshed, book a sleep study this week. Phone your doctor's office Monday morning. 8. Drop your age in the comments. I will read it. So here is the truth I'd like you to carry home today. Most of what we covered tonight sounds small. A footstool, a slow exhale, a shower chair, a printed sign. None of these are dramatic. None of them will go viral. And that is exactly why they matter. The biggest threats to your independence are rarely the dramatic ones. They are the quiet ones, the kitchen counter ones, the bathroom tile ones. You deserve the kind of health where you carry your own groceries in from the car. You deserve the kind of memory where you remember your grandchildren's names at the dinner table. You deserve the kind of laughter where you do not have to grip the back of the pew to enjoy the sermon. It is never too late to begin protecting that. It is never too late to begin adding the footstool, exhaling through the stretch, booking the sleep study. Tonight counts, tomorrow morning. When you stretch and reach for that lamp, counts. If this video helped you, please subscribe and tap the bell so the next one finds you. In the comments, tell me one breath-holding habit you have already tried to fix. I read every single comment, and many of my best patient examples come from your replies.